Hello, welcome back and very good morning all of you. Welcome to SPS online classes, that means Scottish Public School online classes. That is a very important, I think it is a very important platform to learn all these things. I mean, today I will discuss our subject is physics. Topic is that how we can calculate the speed of a body from the graph. That means ग्राफिकल मेथड के थ्रू हम लोग कैसे किसी बॉडी का किसी ऑब्जेक्ट का स्पीड या फिर स्पीड एक्सेलरेशन और वेलोसिटी को कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं कि हाउ वी कैन कैलकुलेट द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट और एक्सेलरेशन ऑफ द बॉडी और मे बी स्पीड ऑफ द बॉडी फ्रॉम अ ग्राफ इन आवर लास्ट क्लास एक्चुअली आई एक्सप्लेन कि what when a body is moving with a uniform motion, when a body is moving with a uniform motion, in that case the graph of this situation, that means graph of this body is like that straight line. So distance always in y-axis and time is always in x-axis. So this time and distance, this is O, and that means origin. The coordinate of this point is 0 and 0. This one is x-axis and this one is y-axis. So suppose that uniform speed, uniform motion, that means a body is covers equal distance in equal interval of time. That means suppose that this way, so 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So that means when we join these points, we can see that the line is straight, that means straight line. So when a body is moving with uniform motion, when a body is moving with uniform velocity, the distance time graph of this body is straight line. Time is always taken in y-axis. Time is always taken is x-axis. Why? Time is an independent variable. Time is an independent variable. Independent variable. That means कि time does not depend on other quantity. That means time is going on itself. That means time क्या होता है, एक अपना फ्लो में वो चलता रहता है. आप मूव करो नहीं करो, आपका मूवमेंट हो या नहीं हो, आप रेस्ट में हो या फिर आप मोशन हो, डजंट मैटर. टाइम क्या होता है, वो हमेशा चलता रहता है. तो इसलिए हम लोग टाइम को बोलते हैं टाइम इज इंडिपेंडेंट क्वांटिटी. और इंडिपेंडेंट क्वांटिटी को हमेशा हम लोग क्या करेंगे, एक्स एक्सिस पे लेंगे. इंडिपेंडेंट क्वांटिटी को हमेशा क्या करेंगे, एक्स एक्सिस पे लेंगे. तो सपोज दैट कि जब बॉडी यूनिफॉर्म मोशन में होगा तो ऑब्वियसली he takes equal distance in equal interval of time. In that case the distance time graph of the body is straight line. And when the body is moving in non-uniform motion, that means it covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. In that case the distance time graph of the body is like curved line. Basically क्या होगा, ये curved line होगा. तो actually I completely discussed both the graph in our last class. Today I will tell you how we can calculate the distance, how we can calculate the speed from the distance time graph. So our topic is that calculation of speed from distance time graph. The first point is that the distance time graph of a body can be used to calculate the speed of the body. That means after using the distance time graph, we can calculate the speed of the body. How we can calculate the speed of the body, we can see here. So as we know that the nature of the body, that means the nature of motion of the body is uniform. So simply suppose that this is y-axis and this is x-axis. This is x-axis and y-axis. This is the point origin. That means the coordinate of this point is 0 0. The time is in x-axis, time, and distance is y-axis. Distance is in y-axis. Then distance is y-axis. As we know that the body having a uniform motion. That means suppose that table बना लेते हैं हम लोग simply. एक टेबल बना लेते हैं इस तरह से, सपोज दैट एक टेबल बना लेते हैं, नहीं, दिस इज द टाइम एंड डिस्टेंस, सपोज दैट कि 1 2 2 4 3 6 4 8 4 8, तो सिंपली 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, दैट मीन्स 2 4 6 and 8. तो फर्स्ट सेकेंड व्हेन अ बॉडी इज 1 second, distance covered by the body is 2 meter. The point is that when after 2 seconds the distance covered by the body is 4 meter. 2 second, that means 4 meter. When a body 3 second, distance covered by the body is 6 meter, and 4 second the distance covered by the body is 8 meter. 8 meter. अब इस पॉइंट को, सारा पॉइंट को इस तरह से हम ज्वाइन कर देंगे, तो सारा पॉइंट को ज्वाइन करने के बाद आप देखेंगे कि ये जो ग्राफ है, तो ग्राफ का जो नेचर है, नेचर ऑफ द ग्राफ इज कंप्लीटली स्ट्रेट लाइन. व्हाई? बिकॉज द बॉडी हैव अ यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. व्हाई? बिकॉज बॉडी हैविंग यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. तो यूनिफॉर्म मोशन के केस में हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि स्पीड ऑफ द बॉडी कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड फ्रॉम द ग्राफ इफ अ बॉडी इज इन यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. तो कंडीशन इज दैट कि व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू कैलकुलेट द डिस्टेंस स्पीड फ्रॉम द डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ, तो कंडीशन इज दैट कि बॉडी हैविंग अ यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. तो दिस वे अब किसी भी पॉइंट को हम मार्क कर लेते हैं, सपोज दैट कि द पॉइंट 6, this is the point A. तो as we know that by the formula कि speed will be equals to distance by time. Speed, as we know that कि speed will be equal to distance by time. तो distance covered by the body, तो suppose that कि distance covered by the body is this, that means 6, और टाइम टेकन बाय द बॉडी दैट मीन्स कि 1 2 3 4, तो 3, दैट मीन्स 3. तो टाइम क्या हो जाएगा यहाँ पे 3 हो जाएगा, और डिस्टेंस कितना हो जाएगा 6 हो जाएगा. दैट मीन्स कि डिस्टेंस कवर बाय द बॉडी इन 3 सेकेंड इज 6 मीटर. तो ऑब्वियसली सपोज दैट कि ए पॉइंट बी एंड दिस पॉइंट इज सी. तो लुक एट हियर, तो डिस्टेंस विल बी इक्वल टू एट दैट पॉइंट, डिस्टेंस विल बी इक्वल टू OC, सॉरी टाइम विल बी इक्वल टू OC. टाइम जो होगा क्या हो जाएगा, मेरा OC हो जाएगा, और डिस्टेंस जो हो जाएगा वो मेरा कितना हो जाएगा, OB हो जाएगा. तो ऑब्वियसली लुक एट द पिक्चर कि OB विल बी इक्वल टू AC. OB, लुक एट द पिक्चर here time will be equals to what? OC. Time is OC, that means कि 3 1 2 3. So this is the time now. The time will be equal to what? OC. Time will be equals to what? OC, and distance will be equal to what? OB. Distance will be equal to what? OB. तो OB is 6 मीटर. तो 6 मीटर के प्लेस पे हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, OB ले सकते हैं. OB ले सकते हैं फ्रॉम द ग्राफ. लिख दो फ्रॉम द ग्राफ. So that means in case of 6 meter we can write OB, and distance will be equal to OB, and clearly we can see that कि OB will be equals to AC. तो OB will be equals to AC. तो finally we can put this value in this formula. So we have speed will be equal to distance by time. So we can put that कि distance will be equal to what? That means OB will equals to AC. So we can write that AC by OB or AC by time is OC. So that means speed will be equals to AC or OB by OC. In mathematically, speed will be equals to what? 6 by 3, that means 2, equals to 2 meter per second. 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड, 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड। तो विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दिस distance time graph we can calculate the speed of the body. So that means speed of the body. Now AC by OC is known as slope of the graph. इस लाइन को हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? इस लाइन को हम लोग बोलते हैं slope of the graph. That means this one by this one will be equal to slope of the graph. The second point is that कि AC by OC is known as AC by OC is known as the slope the slope AC or AC by OC is known as slope or gradient of the graph line of the graph line. That means कि AC by OC is known as the slope or gradient of the graph line. तो सिंपली समझना आपको कि टाइम ऑलवेज एक्स एक्सिस, डिस्टेंस ऑलवेज वाई एक्सिस। तो अब इन दैट केस द बॉडी हैज यूनिफॉर्म मोशन दैट मीन्स कि दे कवर्स इक्वल डिस्टेंस इन इक्वल इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम। आफ्टर यूजिंग द टेबल वी विल ड्रू द ग्राफ। तो सपोज दैट कि 3 सेकेंड में बॉडी मेरा कितना ट्रेवल करता है? 6 मीटर। तो 6 फ्रॉम वाई एक्सिस 6 एंड 3 इस पॉइंट पे कटेगा, इस पॉइंट पे कट कर रहा है। तो आप सपोज करो अगर वो स्पीड निकालना है तो ऑब्वियसली डिस्टेंस बाय टाइम। स्पीड अगर आपको निकालना है तो ऑब्वियसली डिस्टेंस बाय टाइम। तो डिस्टेंस विल बी इक्वल टू व्हाट? ओबी ना। तो ओबी विल बी इक्वल टू व्हाट? एसी। तो इन केस ऑफ ओबी वी कैन पुट एसी एंड टाइम इज व्हाट? 3 ना। दैट मींस O to C इज द टाइम। तो वी कैन पुट in place of 3 OC. So distance speed will be equals to AC by OC. The AC by OC is known as slope or gradient of the graph line. Slope or gradient of the graph line. The slope or gradient the slope of a distance time graph indicates speed of the body. Second point is that कि the slope of a distance time graph indicates speed of the body. That means this is the slope. This slope is indicate that कि the speed of the body. तो हम क्या करेंगे? इसे टाइम को हमेशा एक्स एक्सिस से मिलेंगे। Why? Because time is a independent variable और independent variable is always placed in x axis. Independent variable always placed in x axis. Second point is that कि distance time graph of non-uniform speed. When a body is moving non-uniform speed, when a body is moving with non-uniform speed, in that case कि what is the nature of the distance time graph? So simply non-uniform, that means variable speed. Non-uniform, that means variable speed. That means कि the body covers equal distance. The body covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. So simply we can make a table. Suppose that we can make a table like this way. This means time and distance. Suppose that कि 1 पे distance covered by the body and 3. 2 पे suppose that कि distance covered by the body is 7. 3 पे distance covered by the body is 15. And take another point. 4 the distance covered by the body is 20. देखो equal interval of time, that means 1 1 1 1 interval of time is equal, but distance covered by the body is not equal. In that case, what is the nature of the distance time graph of the body? So simply, as we know that in y-axis we will take distance, that means as per distance in y-axis, and this is O point, and this is x-axis, this is time, x-axis में time और y-axis में distance. तो 1 2 3 and 4. The first one is 3, second one is 7, third one is 15, and sixth one is 20. So 1 second पे this one, and 3 पे this one, and 15, 2 पे this one, and 3 पे, sorry, 2 पे 7, 2 पे 7, 3 पे 15, and 4 पे 20. So look at this. This is the nature of the graph. That means when a body is moving with non-uniform speed, the nature of the graph is curved line. The nature of the graph is curved line. So simply, the speed of a body is non-uniform. If the speed of the body is non-uniform, then the graph between distance travel and time, distance traveled by the body and time taken is curved line. When a body is moving with non-uniform speed, the distance time graph is curved line. तो इस कर्व लाइन को बोलते हैं हम लोग parabolic. This is the curved line. See, curved line, and it is also called as parabolic. This is also known as parabola. The parabola, the speed is non-uniform speed. So simply, when a body is moving with non-uniform speed, the nature of the graph is curved line or parabola. The nature of the graph is curved line or parabola. Some markable points. That is important point. These are the important point. I think you should remember these points. Questions may be sometimes asked as the MCQ types, or maybe fill in the blanks or true or false. Suppose that if a distance time graph of a body is a straight line, distance time graph of a body is straight line, and that means the nature of the graph is straight line. If the nature of the graph is a straight line, the question is that body is uniform motion or non-uniform motion. So you can see that body is uniform motion, as we know that from the graph. If the distance time graph of a body is straight line, then that means the body is moving with uniform motion. The body is moving with constant motion or uniform motion. Second point is that if the distance time graph of a body is parabola, that means curved line, then the speed of a body is non-uniform. When the nature of distance time graph is parabola, that means curved line, you have to keep it in your mind, body having a non-uniform motion. Third point is that when a body moves with variable speed or non-uniform speed, so non-uniform speed sometimes known as variable speed. The non-uniform motion sometimes is known as variable speed. So when a body moves with variable speed, then its motion is said to be accelerated. That means accelerated, that means the velocity changes. Accelerated. So these are the markable points. I will write some few markable points, that is important. Next point is that if displacement time graph is drawn, then it will especially represent the velocity. As we know that the displacement change करता है with respect to time, so we can say that velocity. So if displacement time graph, suppose the displacement time graph, similar concept, y and x, time and distance. In case of distance, we can put displacement. Suppose that if a body covers equal displacement in equal interval of time. If a body covers equal displacement in equal interval of time, then we can say that कि body have uniform velocity. That means okay, body have uniform velocity. Suppose that this way. Suppose this and this. This is the speed. This is the velocity time graph. Displacement time graph. Displacement time graph. एनी पॉइंट को ले लो, कहीं भी ले लो, इस पॉइंट को कहीं भी मार्क कर लो इस तरह से. अब अगर तुम निकालोगे ऑब्वियसली क्या निकलेगा? दैट मीन्स क्या निकलेगा? दिस वन बटे दिस वन. तो ऑब्वियसली क्या निकलेगा? वेलोसिटी निकलेगा. क्या निकलेगा? वेलोसिटी. तो इफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ इज ड्रॉन देन इट विल स्पेशली रिप्रेजेंट वेलोसिटी. डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ अगर हम ड्रॉ करते हैं तो वेलोसिटी को रिप्रेजेंट करेगा. एंड इफ डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ को हम लोग रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं तो वो स्पीड रिप्रेजेंट करेगा. तो डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ स्पीड एंड डिस्प्लेस टाइम ग्राफ वेलोसिटी. एक चीज को याद रखो, डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ स्पीड एंड डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ वेलोसिटी. सेकंड पॉइंट इज दैट कि the speed time graph is also known as velocity time graph. The distance time graph is also known as velocity time graph, as we know that unit of this and velocity or speed both has same meter per second. So sometimes the speed time graph is also known as velocity time graph. Third point is that if the displacement is the displacement time graph, if the displacement time graph of a moving body is straight line. Displacement time graph of a moving body this way. If suppose this way, displacement and time x and y. क्या कह रहा है कि if the displacement time graph of a moving body is a straight line, if a displacement time graph of a moving body is a straight line, in that case it represents a body having uniform velocity. That means कि a body is moving with uniform velocity. So when a body is moving with uniform velocity, उसका जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ होगा ऑब्वियसली क्या होगा? स्ट्रेट लाइन होगा. तो ये बता रहा है यूनिफॉर्म वेलोसिटी. That means in that case कि a body covers equal displacement in equal interval of time. That means nature of the graph होगा वो straight line होगा. तो third point is that कि if the displacement time graph of a moving body is straight line, then वो represents करता है कि body having a uniform velocity. Next. I think you will understand all these things. You can understand all these things. Please read one or two times in your reference book. वो अच्छा आदत होता है. तो basically we will discuss rest of the graph in our next class. We will discuss rest of the graph in our next class. And your homework is simple problem 1, page number 32 and example number 1. Page number 32 and example number 1 you have to solve. ऑब्वियसली वो सॉल्व किया हुआ है, बस आपको सिर्फ पढ़ना है उस क्वेश्चंस को 1 से 2 बार पढ़ना है. और वो क्वेश्चंस क्या कहना चाह रहा है, मतलब अगर आपको इस तरह का क्वेश्चंस नेक्स्ट एक्सरसाइज में आए तो हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व इट. आई होप. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो एंड हैव ए नाइस डे. प्लीज़ रीड योर रेफरेंस बुक को स्टडी करना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. अगर आप बुक स्टडी करते हैं तो आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें पता चलेगी, हो सकता है कि जो एक्सप्लेन नहीं हो. तो basically we will try to explain all these things which is given on your book. So I am trying to explain all these things. I am trying to explain all these things and in a easy way. So you will able to getting all these things. So that means you can understand all these things when you read the book. Thank you for watching this video.